Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu akbar, Wallahu akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Naiba Khan Ghani, and I'll be your host for today's segment of Who's Who in America in Your Community. This show brings to you individuals who have dedicated and committed their lives to serving Allah. They come from the local, national, and international sectors of our community. We hope that their story will serve as an inspiration to you to get involved. Today, my guest is Dr.Mohamed Rida Beshir. Dr. Beshir is the recipient of the City of Ottawa Certificate of Appreciation for the year 2003 for his volunteer work in the area of education, as well as the 2006 award for the services in the community. Dr. Beshir shares this award with his wife, mashallah. He has traveled extensively, presenting workshops to various Muslim communities all over the world. Today, we are very fortunate in the studio to have Brother Beshir with us. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program, Brother Beshir.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. It's a
It
pleasure
certainly
to be with
is.
you.
It certainly is an honor to have you. Because as I, mentioned your name, I look back 20 years ago when my son was born. Well, he's 22 now. But your book came out, and it was one of the first material that I put my hands on to help me in this society to raise my child. So it's an honor to have you
Thank
with
you very
us
much.
in
It
the
is a
studio
pleasure
today.
to be with you. And subhanallah, when you mention this, it also brings lots of memories in my mind. I remember when this book came out back in 1998 in ISNA convention in St. Louis, Missouri. It was the first book, as you said, to be written by a Muslim on this subject for North American parents. And I remember I was not scheduled to speak there. And as soon as the organizers knew that there is a book that came out, they scheduled 3 or 4 sessions, and just spontaneously I had to participate in these sessions. Subhanallah. Now it is available in audio format, as you see, and because many particularly husbands, the fathers, they told us, we don't have much time to read, but we drive a lot. Is it available?
They would listen.
Yeah, so we would listen to it. So that was the first book that we make it available in audio format, and inshallah Rabbil Alameen, hopefully in the future we will do more books in audio format, because we received lots of good feedback about, particular from fathers, that they are now
For the audio.
they can benefit from it. Right?
MashaAllah. So give us a little bit about, history of your background.
I was born in Egypt, in a small town, in the Egyptian sense means 60,000 people or so. And most of my life I lived in Egypt was in Alexandria. When I finished my bachelor in telecommunications engineering, I came to Canada to work on my postgraduate studies. So I came to Canada in 1973, and my wife joined me in 1975 when she finished her medical degree in Egypt. And we've been living in Canada since then. Alhamdulillah, I finished my graduate studies, and it was a challenge when we got our first child, and we wanted to do our best to raise her up as a confident, strong Muslima,
It's like, where's the handbook now?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Exactly. And an incident worked as an eye-opener for us. MashaAllah, we had very, very dedicated Muslims in the Muslim community in Ottawa, and we were invited once by a very active brother who really volunteered lots of his time to build the first mosque in Ottawa there. And when we went, when we were invited for a dinner, and during the dinner there was many other Muslim families there, and they had older children, like pre-teens and teens. And when we saw how they interact with their parents, we really were shocked. And it was, oh my God, our children are going to be like this?
That.
And that really made us, to be very, very careful. We started asking some parents who had successful experience. We knew then by Dr. Jamal Badawi, who lives in Halifax. We talked with him. We talked to Dr. Mustafa Fahmi. This is another very successful parent, although his name is not well known on the national level like other speakers, but mashallah, is a very good family who were able to raise up 5 children, and all of them now are very successful,
mashallah,
active Muslims.
So you're looking at their successes as a parent, not the titles.
Exactly.
Yes, mashallah.
And we start talking to them, learning from them, getting some tips from them. And in the same time, we start reading books and books and books. And my wife started reading about child psychology intensively, you know. And I'm going deeper and deeper in the religious aspect of it, find what the Prophet ﷺ used to say, what ahadith that came about this topic. And so both of us start really collecting lots of information and picking up tips from successful parents. You know.
And your goal is united one, to be a successful parent in this North American
we go
society.
As a team. We go as a team. Both of us work it together. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we maybe after this we got other kids, and we used to get them involved in every Islamic activity.
So let me ask you, you started all of this with your own children,
Yes.
not because you wanted to get a book out there or start these training programs that you're so famous for. It was all about educating yourself and becoming a better parent so that you can be the best that you can for your child.
Exactly, that was the main drive. And I never thought that as an engineer I'm going to write a book on parenting. Now there are 13 books, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, on family matters, all of them. I never thought that I'll be doing this. It was mainly for the well-being of our children. I want to be a better parent. I want to fulfill my duty as a Muslim. So that was the main drive for both of us, and we really worked very, very hard. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, one of the things we used to to drive maybe 20 hours, 25 hours to go and attend various conventions, and like ISNA convention, Mass convention, Maya, and we used to take the children with us. And these trips was such wonderful opportunity for both of us as parents as well as the children to share things, to chant, to review Quran, to do, and our children, they really cherish these memories and they love it, So subhanallah, whenever we go to these conferences and our kids start interacting with adults there, and the adults would come and ask us, what's your secret? What did you do? Tell us. I said, just lucky, just. So when this question was repeated many times,
you became a model without even knowing it, right?
Subhanallah, we said, okay, maybe it is our duty that we share what we learned with our community, with Muslim communities. And I think from the way the parents were asking questions, I thought they found something that's different, and they really needed to learn something. So what to do? So we started in our city. Ikram, my wife, she started doing just small seminars about just for moms, where she will gather the sisters and she'll talk to them about our experience. And then the sisters told her, okay, well, you are telling us this, but the fathers they are not helping at all. They are not doing anything.
In the equation, yes.
Yeah. So can you please ask Brother Bashir to do something for the fathers? So I said, okay, and I did just for dads. But we noticed that the fathers are usually lazy than compared to the mothers, and they don't want to do much
as much
as the moms with the kids particularly. So we noticed that, okay, the mothers start complaining. Didn't tell them this in the seminar. Said, yes, but they said, no, he didn't tell us these things. So from then we said, okay, from now on we're going to make it for both parents. So whenever anybody invites us, we'll say, okay, one condition that both parents have to attend the seminar. And alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, it picked up, and soon enough we received phone calls from Montreal, Toronto, from other cities to come and do this workshop for them. And we have been doing it since maybe 1993 or 92 or so. And the story of this book, Parenting in the West, one of our daughters in her graduation ceremony, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, she's number 3. She all of them, mashallah, are very good and top academic achievers. She was called on the stage 7 times. Top academic achievers, gold medal in this subject, citizen service, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And during the refreshment time, by the way, all our children went to public school system. We didn't have an Islamic school when they were growing up. And during the refreshment time, the vice principal, she approached us and she started to talk to my wife, because all our children went to the same school, you know. So she started talking to my wife and said, "Tell me, what's your secret, Ikram?" So Ikram humbly said, "No, we're just lucky, you know." And she said, "No, you can be lucky with 1 child, 2 children, but 4 of them, you must have done something right. And I advise you to share it with your community." So when this happened, you know, it just clicked in our mind. Maybe this is a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we should do something to share it on a much wider basis than just small seminars here and there. And what to do? Okay, maybe we should document our experience in writing, you know, and we start a book. And that was 1993, and we started working on meeting the challenge of parenting in the West, an Islamic perspective. We submitted the first manuscript on 96 to the publisher, and it came out in 1998 on St. Louis, Missouri, in the ISNA convention. So then after this, you know, lots of questions came during the seminars, and one of the main concerns that we found with most parents is the adolescent stage, the teen age.
That's the most challenging age.
Very challenging.
Definitely.
That's why we wrote our second book, particular about this Muslim teens, today's worry, tomorrow's hope, an Islamic parenting guide, you know, that came in 2001, the first
So the book's
edition.
evolved as your own children grew up. and
Our
your
children grew up, and our experience
Yes.
and interaction with various communities, questions, and then after this, we did lots of counseling with various Muslim families, and we found out that some Muslim families, they are not able to parent their children properly because they have problems among themselves as a husband and wife. So one of the main criteria or critical factors in influencing the child personality is family atmosphere. So if both husband and wife cannot cooperate and work together to provide a positive and healthy family atmosphere, the children are at disadvantage. So because of this, we wrote our third book, Blissful Marriage. And the whole objective was to have a good family, a good spousal relation, good couples who are working together as a team, so they can provide the positive and healthy family atmosphere at home, so they can help their children to see the bright side of Islam and to grow up to be strong and confident Muslims.
And I like the trend of the way things moved. You sort of went backwards to get to where the beginning should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
you know.
that.
So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I think it helped tremendously. Then our fourth book was about parenting principles based on Quran and Sunnah, where we collected all these principles together, and we have the principles, we have the proof from Quran and Sunnah that this should be one of the parenting principles. Then we put an example how to use it with young child, how to use it with older child. I think one of the main features of our book is that the practicality. We have lots of practical examples there. We have lots of case studies. If this happened, what to do? If this happened, what to do? So we have. So that's why we did this one. Then after this, we received many questions on parenting, on family matters, and usually during conventions, during workshops, you don't have much time to address the question in detail. You know, so you give very quick answer because there's always short of time. So we thought some of the questions are repeated in all these places. So we thought, oh, these questions as being frequently asked questions deserve to be documented and answered in a written format. That's why we wrote our another book is Answers to Frequently Asked Questions. We have now part 1 and part 2, and part 3 is going to go to the press, hopefully, inshallah, in 3-4 weeks' time.
MashaAllah, you have quite a history there, Dr. Beshir. I'm so proud, that you'll be able to relate that from the very beginning to where it is now. We're going to get into some of those case studies, but right now we need to take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Subhanallah.
Tune in to Who's Who in America and in your community, hosted by Sister Naima Khan Ghani, with extraordinary guests every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. on www.alhikmatlive.com.
ولا إله إلا الله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر والله أكبر.
Tune in for Friday Khutbah at 1:30 p.m. broadcasting live from Darul Uloom Institute, Pembroke Pines, Florida, on Al-Hikmat TV online.
जश्न आमदे रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह.
Tune in to Young Muslim Talent in America, hosted by Salma Muhammad, with talented kids from all over America, every Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. on www.alhikmatlive.com.
अल्लाह ही अल्लाह. ओ जश्न आमदे रसूल अल्लाह ही अल्लाह.
Thinking of doing Sadaqah Jariyah for your near and dear ones? We recommend you to sponsor the Origin of True Islam brochure, the Genealogy of Prophets, or the surahs and zikr to be recited daily as Sadaqah Jariyah for your parents who have passed away. Or you could sponsor one of the items for yourself, fi sabilillah. For more details, contact the Al-Hikmat office at 1-800-804-0267 or 954-986-0158, or email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Welcome back. If you're now joining me, my guest today is Dr. Mohamed Rida Beshir, and he is a visiting guest from Canada. Brother Beshir, we left off talking about your series of books that you have written, both you and your wife. Let's go back into some of the case studies, if you don't mind giving us a practical example so that our parents out there and our viewers will have a taste of what it is, they can look forward to in reading some of these material.
Sure, that's a very important question. We like in parenting in the West, the first book we have around 15 case studies there for various age group. In Muslim teens, we have around 12 case studies, but this particularly for teenagers,
And I need to stop you there for
Sure.
a minute, because you talk about parenting in the West, and that was the first one that I read and the first one that you wrote. And I remember when my son, and I have to share this with you, he was 5 years old.
Inshallah.
And of course, we're struggling as young parents in this society. If he went to public school, how do I juggle Islam and everything else that we're facing with? And my son turned to me one day and said, Mom, is there anything halal in Islam? Everything is haram. Is there anything that I can do? Because he was going to the masjid, going to sessions, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and everything was can. And that's one of the reason, or the main reason, I purchased your book. I need to find out what is out there. Am I the only one feeling this? And I learned a lot from the case studies. That's one of the reasons I asked you to share with some of the, some of these with our viewers, because that really was a stumbling block for me.
I think this is one of the main challenges for parents here, because many people, they keep telling the children, don't do this because you are a Muslim, don't do this because you are a Muslim.
You can't do anything, yeah, exactly.
And they look at Islam as something that, no. There are many things that you can answer with yes. And we have some example, by the way, in parenting, the last chapter, how can you answer your child with yes rather than no all the time, And it's not enough to tell the child, don't do this because you are a Muslim. Explain to him, dialogue, let him express his feeling, and let him know why it is not right to do.
And that is in your book.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let them know why it is not right to do. Let him know, the girl know why she has to put a hijab. Let the boy know why he has to fast the month of Ramadan. Why he doesn't have to go for smoking or drugs. And Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, all prohibitions or things that are permitted in Islam, there is a logical explanation for it. And Jazakumullah khairan, our scholars did not leave any question, but they answered in very, very logical way. And it is our duty as parents to learn these answers and to present it to our children in a very nice, gentle way, so they would understand it. This way they are going to equip themselves, so because they'll be faced with these problems when they become teenagers. Why are you putting this towel into your head? Why do you fast the month?
And you're right, they say towel. You're so true. That's exactly what they're referring
exactly.
to.
Why? So unless they know why, they cannot answer intelligently. And they need to be strong and be able to stand for themselves and to answer, I believe in this, I put it there because of such and such and such. And we have some examples, particularly about the hijab, through our experience with our daughters, when she wore the hijab first time and what she did and how it was difficult and things. We have the details of it. The struggle.
Real life examples.
Exactly.
I mean, people out there can say, they can relate and say, this is not make believe, this is not fabricated, this is real.
As a matter of fact, just a week or 10 days ago, I just received an email from a very dear sister who used to live in Ottawa, and now they are in South Africa. Her husband is studying in Darul Uloom. They're trying to get a degree in Sharia, and she's just thanking us for opening your family life for all of us to learn from. It was such a wonderful thing. Now we always refer to your books because it gives us this practical aspect of living as a Muslims in North America or in Western society in general. You want one of the case studies,
yes,
for example?
Okay.
In parenting, there are many case studies. One of them is the fights that go between young children.
Sibling rivalry.
It's not really rivalry. If we don't resolve it properly,
yes,
it's going to lead to sibling rivalry. But how to teach them to resolve conflicts
before it gets
there. Young kids usually fight about a book, about a toy, about that each one wants, and it depends on the reaction of the parents, how the mother interferes or the father interferes to try to resolve the situation. So we'll be talking about one specific case study will be about this, Another case study will be talking about somebody who spends lots of time in front of TV and is not doing well in the school, is causing problem with his siblings and with other kids in the school. What to do with them? How to deal with them? Who have this sense of entitlement that we know that Generation Y and Generation Z now, they have this sense of entitlement. They want everything right away, and he is never satisfied. What to do with kids like this? So these are a couple of case study we'll be working on.
And you deal with all age groups.
Alhamdulillah.
From toddlers go all the way up to the teens.
This particular seminar, positive parenting skills based on Quran and Sunnah, is more general. So we give examples for various age groups.
Okay.
So the principles will be talking about you can use with different age groups. We have another seminar that's geared towards teenagers, bridging generation gap between parents and teens. That's where the focus is mainly about the teens problem and how to approach it, how to solve it, and things like this.
So if anyone in a community out there, maybe they're viewing and they might be interested and say, well, I want Dr. Beshir to come to my community, they can specialize or request what age group or what area they want you to focus on, and you can go into there and specialize in that particular category.
The best thing will be, we feel that the first one, positive parenting skill based on Quran and Sunnah, is a prerequisite for any other.
For all the others.
For all of them. Okay. So when somebody approaches us, we recommend to them to start with this one. Then
And then you branch off
can
into
branch
what?
off to another.
So this is your foundation.
Yes, this is the foundation
for Quran and Sunnah, of course, is our foundation for living anyway.
Exactly.
Yes, so
And the best way to do this will be to go through our website, www.familydawn.com, and there is one of the menu items is workshops. Look at the workshops. Read because we have the details of the workshop and what you expect to learn out of it and things
right,
like
so there's
this.
a little synopsis
There's
for
a
each one.
synopsis syllabus for
Okay.
everyone, and then you can communicate with us via the website also, and we can suggest to them tentative dates and answer extra questions that they may have about the workshops, and we take it from there.
Good, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's important for our viewers to know that you are available, both you and your wife as a team. You're available to go out there no matter where, because I know you've traveled the world.
Alhamdulillah.
You've been to Australia, you mentioned earlier, and other parts of the the globe.
South Africa,
Yes.
and Europe. We've been there. We've been to many places. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And we received so many. Actually, there is some testimonials also about these workshops from different parts of the world.
And who would have thought, from your little city there in Ottawa, that you started, your goal was, I want to be the best parent that I can, and look, where it's ended up, now you're going to be the best grandparent that you can, inshallah.
Yeah, now we're having 9 grandchildren now, and the number 10 is in the way, inshallah. Is how to help them to be the best parents themselves, and how
Have you
to
written
know.
anything for grandparents, or
Well,
is that in the works?
we talked. I spoke in Los Angeles in the Thanksgiving weekend about twice about how grandparents should interact with their children to make sure that the grandchildren are being parented properly. So I have some material, but is not in the plan to put it in a book, sort of.
Well, it's something I think you should be thinking about, because grandparents now in today's society play a very important role.
They do. There is no doubt about it.
Sometimes they act as the parents in certain
they
cases.
do. There is no doubt about it.
So maybe we need to you need to think seriously, since you've been so successful, mashallah, with the parenting. Maybe we need to come up with something with grandparents. I think that'll be an innovative idea.
Just make dua that Allah blesses the time, and because there are many things in mind that we want
you'd like to do,
and it's not easy, and we are not the young people we used to be. We have many health problems, both of us, and so we don't have all the time for us. And I travel almost every weekend. All my weekends are booked, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Like next week I'll be in Binghamton, New York. The week after I'm in Panama City. There is a program on domestic violence for not just for Muslims.
What does this tell you, that you're so busy in this particular area? Does that send a message to you?
Oh, it makes Jude and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is utilizing me to do something that lots of people feel it is important, and
there is a need.
And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that
MashaAllah.
I'll have tawfiq to be able to help them, and I ask Him to help me to really touch on the right nerves so they can pick up from it. And that brings me to another book that another book that I wrote, which directly deals with domestic violence, because it's called Family Leadership, Qawama, an obligation to fulfill, not an excuse to abuse. This is I wrote alone by myself, not as a team. and there is a reason for this, because that specific topic is completely misunderstood by lots of husbands, Muslim husbands, And I did lots of research for it, and it is not the familiar kind of research. It's not the thing that Muslim husbands would expect to read, So.
Right. And is that something that our community, unfortunately, wants to take note of? They say it's taboo. We don't have that problem in our religion. We don't have that in our community, and they stay away from it. But
although it is
contrary,
contrary, our community is part of the problem.
Very much.
And many husbands are part of the problem because they don't understand their Quran properly. And that was my main focus, is to come up with a proper understanding of verse number 34 in Surah An-Nisa that talks about اضربوهن, that the husband could beat their wife, and this is a complete wrong translation. And I analyzed everything and I came up with how many times the word daraba used in Quran and what is the meaning of each time. And I give the proper understanding and the proper and from the life of the Prophet ﷺ that this is something completely condemned by Islam. It has nothing to do. So I'm participating in Panama City in a more open kind of conference about domestic violence. So I'm presenting Islam and domestic violence, myth and reality. So that's 2 weeks from now, inshallah.
That should be interesting.
Then we're off to France for
then you're off again.
Myself and my wife will be there, inshallah, together to France for a couple of workshops there. Then we continue to Abu Dhabi for some more.
So you're quite busy, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil
But it's
Alameen.
good to know that our viewers can just go online, visit the website, and they can contact you,
Sure.
you know, to visit their community if they want to
Inshallah.
get one of these workshops off the ground,
Inshallah.
even make a start. That you're available, it's there. You need to pencil them into your calendar because they need to call ahead of time.
Yeah,
Mashallah.
that's
One
for
quick
sure.
question before we wrap up. What's your vision for the future? I know you talked about some of the things that you'd like to see.
For the future, I'd like to be able, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, to benefit as many members of our communities in the whole North America and the whole West, actually, with the information that we have. We started with the website. We just launched this website, so this is one of the things that I was dreaming of, and alhamdulillah, it is going very well. And hopefully, the more people you know about it, the more you will be able to have, because we have in the website also some resources, you know, what to do, where to go, and some answers to questions and articles and things like this. So this is one of the things. The other thing is more audiobooks, because that one was very successful. Lots
Right,
of
and that's a positive feedback because you talked about that team, and I think that's the key, or one of the important keys to getting a successful family.
Yeah,
husband and wife need to work as a team, or you're not going to be successful.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, the first, after talking about the objective of the workshop, the first slide is talking about husband and wife working as a team. You know, subhanallah. The other thing is if we can do some training for the trainers,
Oh, that is
rather
great.
rather than I have to go or Ikram has to go or both of us have to go to every community by ourselves, you know.
So you haven't started yet. That's a vision you'd like.
No,
Or have
actually,
you initiated?
we initiated
Yeah.
some communities, mashallah, Rabbil Alameen, those parents who are very interested, they came more than once. We have been in some of the big cities like New York and Chicago and DC. We have been there more than once. So some parents, they followed us. Whenever we come, they come, even if it is the same workshop, but they say we learn more from it, you know. And alhamdulillah, some of them, they started like regularly, maybe bi-weekly or monthly meeting with all the parents, and they pick one of the books, then they study chapter by chapter, and that is helping tremendously. So either this way, or if a big organization like as ICNA or ISNA just sponsor that, they get some of the people who want to be trained in the same location, maybe a session in the east, a session in the west, a session in central.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Then we can go and we spend with them maybe 2, 3, 4 days, and then they are on their own. And if they have a special communication with us whenever they are faced with questions that they cannot answer, we can interact with them and we can help with them. So these are some of the ideas that have been running our minds. We have other ideas for Muslim teachers as manuals to help them with the classrooms. We do some
in the classroom as well, because we have an organization, Muslim Teachers Association.
Yeah, well, that's we do like character building in the classroom. This is a workshop that myself and Ikram do also for the teachers of Islamic schools. We do classroom management and the discipline.
So you
also
have these already?
Yeah, this is already there,
so
but we want to maybe to come up with a manual, a written manual that can go with them.
That's beautiful, mashallah. Such a wealth of information and resources. I mean, I don't think we're utilizing it enough, and how a lot of people probably don't realize how fortunate they are to have this, material just readily available. They just need to use it, because our goal is to have a successful family, in this dunya, and to live for the akhir, inshallah. And what would you like to see from the community?
I would like
How can they help you to fulfill
I
this
would like
vision?
the communities to be more organized, because I've been traveling for the last maybe 25 years doing da'wah in one way or the other, not necessarily on parenting. Before parenting, I was doing lots of
other things,
other training workshops in tarbiyah and in general, and self-development and time management. I did many of these workshops. So, and subhanallah, our communities are not focused enough, are not organized enough, and they do not optimize the use of the resources that they have.
I like your statement. They don't optimize the resources that's available out there.
And the resources are there, and they should try to optimize it, And this is what I want to see them better structured, better organized, and try to optimize whatever resources that is made available for them, because we are not sure how much time these resources will continue to be available. I'm doing this right now. I don't know if my health will allow me to be able to travel every weekend. I'm literally traveling every weekend now. So I want, when I go to visit communities, that they really did their work, and they did their best to bring as many people as possible, so they would benefit.
Because it takes a lot of effort and planning,
exactly.
But you need to go all the way, not just
exactly. I feel very bad when I come and find just a handful of people attending, and wallah, and it's not because I want to.
I know you. It's not. I understand. It's not the publicity.
Yeah,
it's about getting the message across.
Exactly.
Educating as many people as you can for a better community.
We want to optimize our resources. Whoever invested in this trip, they're paying an air ticket, they're paying a hotel room, they are paying. So at least let's get the best return on our investment.
Right.
So let's try to do our best to bring as many people as possible, using every possible way, so they can benefit from because many communities, when they complete the evaluation form, lots of them they complain about that there was not enough publicity, or there are many people who need this kind of information. They are not there, and we want them to be there. So this is not my job.
It's all about the marketing, and I think we need
this
to
is
really,
not my job to make them there.
You present the material, it's the organizations to get the people out there.
So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He would help our communities to optimize their resources and to do their best, so they can benefit from whatever is available for them. And mashallah, there is lots of things that's available, alhamdulillah, nowadays, compared to 10-15 years ago.
You're certainly right about that. Dr. Beshir, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today. I've learned so much. I'm even more motivated to go out there and become even a better parent.
Inshallah.
So alhamdulillah, thank you for sharing so much with us. It certainly was a pleasure talking to you today.
Jazakallah khairan. May Allah bless you and reward your efforts, and all the brothers and sisters who work very hard to make this program a reality. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from everyone. Keep us all on the straight path and reward us all with Jannah, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen.
Ameen. And thank you so much again. And this brings us to the end of our program for today. Join us again next week for another edition of Who's Who in America and the Community, where you meet ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wallahu akbar. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, wallahu